guys and girls, Rob here, and college football. Some teams are going to go falling this week, and there's a team on the rise that, given the right circumstances, will have a chance to make the football playoff. But it's only if the stars align just right. We'll talk about that team in a minute. First off, number one, Alabama. They beat Ole Miss handily, 42-21. They cover. Georgia shuts out up-and-coming Arkansas team. Every one of us thought Arkansas was the play here. 19 points. Georgia, 37-0. Oregon and Stanford. Stanford took them to overtime. Scored a last-minute touchdown. Then overtime outscored Oregon and won 31-24. Harris liked that game. Oregon now no longer undefeated. No Pac-12 team is undefeated now. Penn State, Indiana, 24-0. That was pretty, just a basic game there. Iowa, 51, Maryland, 14. Iowa traveled into Maryland and won that game big. Oklahoma, 10-point favorites at K-State. I thought there was a rat there, and Oklahoma only wins 37-31. They do not cover this week. Cincinnati, Notre Dame. Cincinnati, clearly the best team this week. Out of those two, Notre Dame now has got to win out. Notre Dame has got to win out in order for Cincinnati to even have even a close chance, I think, at being a playoff team. And I'm not even sure they're going to make the playoffs then. We'll see. Even if they win completely out, I'm not sure they're going to be in top four. 24-13, Cincinnati wins that game. Upset special, number 10, Florida gets upset by Kentucky, 20-13, first time in 15 tries down in the Bluegrass State, or up in the Bluegrass State, that they were able to pull off that victory. Actually, it was 16 times. They'd lost 15 in a row, so it had been 16 times. Ohio State rocks 52-13 over Rutgers. BYU 34, Utah State 20. BYU stays undefeated. Michigan goes to 5-0. Number 14, Michigan 38, Wisconsin 17. Michigan is the real deal. I think Michigan, they've got legit playoff chances here, I think. Texas A&M, play great, play bad, play great. I almost feel like we should be banned from picking college football versus the spread. Texas A&M, 9-point favorites. We smelled a rat, all of us, but Tribe went with A&M there. Mississippi State wins outright. Coastal Carolina, 59-6. UL Monroe was just overbearing there. Michigan State over Western Kentucky, 48-31. We all went with that one. Fresno State, Hawaii. We talked about it. It's so hard to travel to the islands. Keep your mind on the game and play the game. Fresno State, number 18 in the country, is no longer going to be number 18 in the country. They get beat 27-24 to Hawaii. Oklahoma State, number 19, traveling to Baylor, 24-14. Oklahoma State wins that game outright. They were favored by 4, and they won it. UCLA, Arizona State. UCLA takes another defeat. They'll fall out of the top 25 now. They got swamped there against Arizona State, 40-23. Like I say, no Pac-12 team is undefeated now. I don't like their chance. None of them's chances of getting in the college football playoff. Auburn, I smelled this rat from his start this week. I never have liked LSU's quarterback. I like him even less right now. LSU was favored by 3.5. The hook, I was not going for it. I took Auburn, 24-19 straight up. They won it. North Carolina State, Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech had played some good competition. NC State only beats them by a touchdown. They do not cover. Wake Forest, Louisville. They went into Louisville. They get a field goal game. Wake wins, and they stay undefeated, but they do not cover. Clemson march into Boston College, 16-point favorites, and they escape with their lives, 19-13, and hold that little small chance of anything of them maybe win the ACC. Let's go to Thursday night's game, NFL. The Jags and Bengals, they played a really tough game, and Jags really showed me something in this game. I think they outplayed the Bengals most of the game. Bengals win the game right there at the end, 24-21. The Jags are going to win some games. The Jets may not. The Jags are going to win a couple of games somewhere here and there. We got the Titans and the Chiefs today. Titans at the Jets today. We all like the Titans in this ballgame. 7.5. I would have probably gave 12.5. I just think the Titans walk into New York today. What's up, Larry Harris? The Jets are poor on defense, and they're very porous on offense. I don't know how long Zach Wilson's going to keep playing before he gets hurt. You just hope it's no time soon where he gets hurt, but it's not looking good. It really doesn't. Lions and the Bears today. We got to see what the Bears can do at home. They are, they are in disarray. Their coach may get fired. Matt Nagy. The Lions not showing. What's up, Philip Reynolds? They're not showing anything, but 3.5 points. A lot of us thought that was too many for the Bears, and we'll see what happens. I like the Lions in this ball game. I think everything points to where the Lions can actually win this game. They may just cover with a field goal, but we'll see. I think the Lions are going to impress us today and play a little bit better. We'll see what happens there. Colts at the Dolphins. Dolphins is still in disarray. Tua may not play. We don't know the situation, but the Dolphins do have a very good defense. Colts have a good defense too. Probably the best play there would be an under, but a 2.5 points. 4 of them, 5 of us picked the Dolphins today. We'll see what happens there. Browns 1.5. Cincinnati yesterday. You're talking about Notre Dame. We talked about that. Yep. They're still not in the playoffs, even if they win everything, Philip. That's the sad part. They can win out and still not make the playoffs. Right now, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. They're not ranked in the top 4. The Browns and the Vikings. Browns are 1.5 favorite, and we all thought maybe they might be 3.5, and that would have been a hook right there. No. They're giving us the same line the Seahawks got last week. The Vikings walked over the Seahawks. We all took the Browns. I think the Browns are the pick here. I really do. Washington football team against the Falcons. That's a pick'em game. Falcons are at home. I think they're worth 3. I really do. I think the Falcons win this ball game outright. Texans and Bills. What's crazy about this one is the line, 16.5. Texans defense have actually played pretty good. They're not the worst, not even near the very bottom in the league in pass defense, and they also rush the passer pretty good. They're a pretty good team. Now, what are they going to do offensively against the Bills? I don't know. Probably the under would be the take on this one. 16.5. It was a mixed reaction there. I ended up going with the Texans, but I would probably stay away from this game as far as picking a team. Giants and the Saints. Saints 7.5 point favorites. They go into the Dome for their first time. It's going to be like their home opener here in week 4. I think they're going to smear the Giants. What's up, Arnold Hunter? I think they're going to smear the Giants. I think it could be over with by halftime. This is a game I really think they could win by 35, 40 points. The Saints could really pour it on the Giants today. Daniel Jones may lose his job this week. That's another thing to watch for. He cannot afford to have 3 INTs, a fumble. He can't afford to have that. Well, let's see what happens. I think there's a good chance he loses his job. Chiefs and Eagles. Um, Everybody likes the Chiefs this week. To me, the Chiefs have not proven to me that they can score and score a legitimate pace. The Eagles' defense is good. I would probably go with the under here. Um, but you got me picking teams. I'm picking the Eagles. And all the rest of the staff, all the rest of the guys on the team here went with the Chiefs. So that a strong feel for the Chiefs this week in our camp. Panthers at the Cowboys. Cowboys 4.5-point favorites. Panthers undefeated. We all feel like this comes to an end this week down in Texas. We all like the Cowboys. We all willing to give up that 4.5. Um, Pretty strong play there. Take the Cowboys, give the points. Seahawks, 49ers were split on this one all the way. 49ers 3.5. I like the Seahawks just because of the hook. I think it's a field goal game either way. I would not touch this one with a stick. I wouldn't go over under. Seahawks 49ers game, you stay away from that one. Same thing with Cardinals and Rams. Cardinals coming to this game, they're undefeated. They're going to play the Rams. They're 6-point dogs. 6-point dogs. So they're getting 6 points on the road. There's no way I was not taking them. But this is still one I do not touch. Do not touch the Cardinals-Rams game here. Steelers and Packers, a strong feeling within the pack of jabronis that the Packers are going to win this one outright and cover a touchdown. I don't like it, but I'm the only one that didn't like it out of the whole bunch. It's a strong favorite for the Packers to win by more than a touchdown today. I tend to lean away from it, but we'll see what happens. This is a strong play here too. The Ravens at the Broncos. Broncos a 1.5 favorite. We know the Ravens love to run the football. I think they're going to have their chance today in Mile High. Maybe a 70-yard field goal gets kicked too. It's only a 1.5. We, as a whole group, we picked the Ravens this week. Good run with the Ravens. Tonight, Buccaneers traveling to the Patriots. No Gronkowski. Gronkowski is out. Hip could be out as much as 7 to 8. It could be 7 to 10 weeks. They don't know yet, but he is out. So, Brady's got to find somebody else to catch a ball today. Without Gronk, I would have considered the Patriots today, but we've already made our pick. We are strong favorite toward the Bucks, even the 5.5. Maybe it is rib injury. But I think he's got a hip flexor too. But you're right, there's broken ribs. That's right, broken ribs for Gronk. But I think he had a hip flexor too in practice. They're broken ribs, so he's out. He is officially out for tonight. We still like to play though. 5.5. That's a strong play right there. We all went that way. I don't think any of us would change our route. They've got enough offense, and their defense is better, I think, even than the Patriots. Probably the best smart play here would be playing the under. And then the Raiders and Chargers tomorrow night. The Raiders on the road. They're undefeated. Monday Night Football. Everything probably points to the Chargers 3, but it's a hook on there. 3.5. We 4 out of 5 of us went with the Raiders with a 3.5. I think it's a field goal game either way. And if the Raiders lose by a field goal, they still are covering here, and that's why we went with the cover, and took the Raiders. Our survivor pools this week. Harris Jessup took the Bucks. What's up, Keith White? Tim and Keith both took the Cowboys. I took the Saints. John took the Bengals. And the Bengals did not cover, so John is out officially of a survivor pool. Biggest surprise of the weekend so far for me, I guess, let's see, was probably Iowa. Iowa coming out and scored 51 points in Maryland. Um, Georgia flattening, I mean, Arkansas, a team had been on the rise. They weren't even in the polls, and they got up to number 8. They beat Texas. They beat some good teams, and they just flatlined it against the Georgia Bulldogs. That shows us how good Georgia is, 37-0. That brings us to the question of the week. If Georgia were to play Alabama on a, uh, let's say at home or on anywhere, okay, you can tell us where, but I will say neutral field. Alabama and Georgia right now were to meet on a neutral field. Does Georgia have a chance? I don't think so. I don't think Georgia's a team that can beat Alabama. I really don't. And will Cincinnati make the playoff? There's a legit chance that they could win out the rest of the way and not even be in the playoff, which that would be a shame. But there is a real good chance of that. They're only ranked number 5 right now. If Notre Dame loses any more games, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt their push going to the top, and they can't have. They got to have blowout wins. When I say that, they got to win by 20 or more. They've got to do covering now. They've got to cover the points in their next 4 or 5 games. I guess 5 games. Um, Cincinnati cannot trip up, but neither can Notre Dame. If Notre Dame loses another game, that's pretty much Cincinnati's season right there. And ranked number 5 right now. If the season were over, this would be the teams in the playoff. It would be Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, and Iowa. I'd take Bama and give 9.5 in that game. I think that'd be a little high. I think right now, if Alabama played Georgia, it'd probably be a 4, probably around 4 points. It might be 3 and a hook, but I would say probably 4. I think Alabama would probably be favored by 4 points in that game. I think Penn State Iowa is going to be one to really, really look at. You know what? I'm really liking Iowa. I like this Iowa team. I'm liking the way they're coming out playing. They beat up on a Maryland team that's actually played well this year. Maryland showed up for 3 or 4 good games this year, and Iowa just creamed them. They were, and Vegas felt it too. They only made them a 4-point favorite, and they go out there and win by 37. I think Penn State plays Iowa next week. Not for sure. I think so too. I think they travel to Iowa and play, and that's going to be a great, great game. But I'm telling you, right now, I'm not sure Iowa's not the second best team in the country. I think Iowa could give Georgia a good run for their money. And Oregon, they got beat by Stanford. We take the Pac-12 out of play now. Pac-12, you're not for real. Okay? We can't take none of you for real. UCLA's lost. USC's lost. Arizona State's lost. Oregon's lost. Oregon State's lost. Every one of you's lost. We're not taking you guys for real. Oklahoma went to K-State, couldn't cover. K-State is a good team, but they're not a great team. Oklahoma is another team I'm not taking for serious. They're undefeated, yes, but I think there's just a matter of time before they do get beat. I really do. Cincinnati, they are just a liability to the system, and when I call it that, you got to realize, number one, they're not playing in a Power 5 conference. Cincinnati's not in a Power 5 conference. Number two, you have got to stack your non-conference schedule. You've got to stack your non-conference schedule, and they didn't. Yeah, they beat Notre Dame, but they don't play high quality. No, and that's the problem with Cincinnati right now. Cincinnati would not be in the playoffs. They got to have Notre Dame run the table. Notre Dame's got to beat everybody. And then they've got to win, and they got to win convincingly. And then they've got to hope. Obviously, Penn State or Iowa, one of those gets beat. One of those teams gets beat. Alabama, Georgia, one of those two teams will get beat. Oklahoma, I still say gets beaten. And I'll say this: Oklahoma, Cincinnati on a neutral field. I like Cincinnati in that ball game. Oklahoma's shown me nothing this year. A lot of trade rumors. Desean Watson, yep. The biggest one I've been hearing is him going to Philly. Howie Roseman's got to go ahead if they want to make the trade. It makes no sense, though, when you have been pushing your job to Jalen Hurts all season. Why would you do it? The place that makes the most sense would be the Colts or the Dolphins. Either one, the Colts or the Dolphins. They both are lacking quarterbacks. But Philadelphia makes no sense to me. I don't understand that one. Philly's playing good ball. I may not agree that Jalen Hurts is the answer, but I'm not sure. And then the thing is, like a couple of people that were on their posts, what happens if Desean Watson gets traded for 3 1s and 3 3s and then gets suspended? Well, by league standard rules, that if that trade goes through and gets stamped approval, and then Commissioner Goodell decides to put Desean Watson on the sideline and suspend him, which it's rumored. It is rumored that sometime where between October 1st and October 15th, he will do it. And today is October the 3rd. It's rumored that he's going to put him on the sideline for the rest of the year. It's a dangerous thing to give up 3 number ones for somebody that may not ever play for your team. And that trade, if it goes through, once it's stamped, the Texans are no longer liable. It's not like anything that's been hidden from any other team. They realize what you're getting. You're getting damaged goods, and you got to run with that if you can. It's just what you want to go. Florida laid an egg yesterday. They really did. Another top 10 team laid an egg. They get beat. Michigan, impressive win. I think they're as close to Iowa as anybody. I still think they're better than Penn State. I really think A&M, you're out of the top 25. You're toast. Mississippi State beat you. And that's the end of your run. Fresno State goes to Hawaii. They get beat. Bigger egg laid, Florida or Oregon? Florida. No doubt. Kentucky is not. Florida's got one of the top. They got a top 10 offense out there. Oregon was playing Stanford in Stanford. That's a tough place to play. And Florida should have. They should have mounted that team and beat them by 30 points. Oregon, they were favored by 7, where Florida was favored by 8. I think Florida laid the bigger egg. I really do. I just think, I still think if they played them 8 more times, they'd probably beat them 7 out of the 8. But yesterday they got outplayed. They got clearly outplayed. And Kentucky's, their special teams, when they blocked the field goal, they ran it all the way back. That says something for your team. Oklahoma State, Baylor. Oklahoma State wins in that game. That's a big win for them. The Big 12, they won't be representatives in the playoffs, but they could get a real good bowl from this. UCLA, early in the year, played well, and now they lose to Arizona State. Arizona State beats them by 19 points. That was another egg laid right there. Auburn, LSU. I've told people for the whole year, LSU has the worst quarterback in college football. Johnson kid, the left-hander. He is awful. Okay? The only reason he is playing for LSU is because he's Brad Johnson's son. It's not because he can throw a football. It's not because he can play the position. LSU's going to lose another game before this year's out. That's how bad he is. That's how bad this Johnson kid is. They're going to come to realize that with him in the lineup, we're actually not winning. And they're going to go a different route, probably in 2022. But Auburn beat them yesterday in LSU by 5, and they were 3.5-point dogs. So they overturned the spread by a touchdown. And Clemson, another team. Clemson, their offense, you can't turn it on and turn it off. They sputter a lot, and that was their problem, no doubt about it. Locks of the week. Harris Jessup says Cleveland. I say Atlanta. I like Atlanta here. I think a Washington football team is toast. Tim said Notre Dame. Notre Dame got beat. Keith says Cowboys, and John says the Dolphins. And Dolphins at home today against the Colts. They're 2.5-point favorites. Cowboys 4.5-point favorites against the Panthers. Unanimous pick there. We all like that Cowboys. Atlanta. That was a split vote, I think. Atlanta, yeah, but a half point. I'm running with Atlanta. I think at home they're worth more than that. Harris Jessup's big on Cleveland. We'll see what happens there. It could happen, I guess. I'm just not a big Cleveland supporter, but 1.5. Yeah, they beat Fresno State. But I like the Browns in this Vikings game. I really do. The Vikes, can they get up 2 times for 2 home games in a row against superior talent? I think Seahawks are better than the Vikings. I definitely think the Browns are better than the Vikings. So we'll see what happens there. My lock of the day is the Falcons. Falcons playing an early game with Washington. I think they beat them. I think they beat them handily. And tonight's game, Bucks and Patriots. Don't forget, Gronkowski is out. Gronkowski is out. Yeah. So make sure, broken ribs. If you're going to put money on it, make sure nobody takes more than the 5.5 from you. National Women's Soccer League commissioner tried to coerce the players to having sex with him. He also was doing some misdoings in the office with some of the coaches, some of the staff members, and he's out on the rail now. He's gone by. What I question is this: after the first occurrence, right? Do you think it was? But this is my question: as outspoken as some of these women are, especially on the national team, right? After the first occurrence, why wasn't something done? They're talking like it's like 50 occurrences. So, yeah, obviously it makes him look like a trash dump. But how does it become 50 occurrences? How this day and age with political correctness, everybody in line, standing in line and realizing you can't do but this and that and this and that. How does he get by with it for that long? That's my question. Anywhere there's smoke, there's fire. Yes. Chances are some of this stuff is true. But I'm wondering if they're kind of gathering up info and be like, okay, we're tired of this asshole. We want to get rid of him. And I wonder, because think about it. If it happened 5 times, right? Let's just say 5 times. What's the chances wherever? let's say it happens in a school. Let's say it happens where you work. What's the chances of one of those women not saying anything? 5 times. They're saying over 50 instances, okay, of coercion, trying to do sexual acts to the women and all. To me, something smells fishy here. 50 times. So it didn't all happen in one, this happened over a period of time. And nobody says nothing. In 2021, nobody says a word. I don't know. I think they got to dig a little deeper into this one, because that would be my defense. Would be like, okay, when did the first so-called occurrence happen? And let's say they said May, or let's say they say April. Why has nobody? The commissioner was a guy. The commissioner, the head mountie of the NWSL was a guy. It was a guy. Yeah, it was a guy that led it. I'll show you. NWSL scandal. I'm pretty sure it's a guy here. Oh, okay, the commissioner is a woman. Okay, now what is the deal here? I thought I saw something about a guy. Let's see now. Where's the guy at? There was. Oh, Lisa. This is Lisa Baird. Okay, I was reading something about. Um, Maybe that was a coach. Yeah, Paul Riley scandal. Let's see who Paul Riley is. Paul Riley. She resigns amid misconduct allegations leveled at Paul Riley. Yeah, so Paul Riley was a guy trying to do this stuff, and she must not have been listening to him. Yeah, Paul Riley. There he is. There he is right there. Paul Riley. So, um, so what it is, the women must have went to her and said, "Look, this guy's trying stuff." Uh, and listen to this one. How about this one? Paul Riley fired after former players accused coach of sexual coercion. Former players, okay, not current players, not current players. Players Union says NWSL failed us. But how often do we hear something about former players? And what is it? What is the words we always use every time we talk about a former player talked about a coach and how bad it was? Sour grapes. If it's a male coming out and saying, you know what, he worked us to death. He actually had us out here running more than we should have been. He's causing us all to maybe have heart attacks. What is said is that guy it's sour grapes, because he is no longer on the team. I'm just saying that is what's said about men. Blue Jays beat the Orioles. They would be the first time. Yeah, 210 lost teams. A couple of 100 win teams already in the National League West, which is crazy. And one of those teams is playing Wednesday. The Dodgers. They're hosting um, whoever it is, which Cardinals. I guess it would be the Cardinals. Um, Atlanta now has won their division. They'll be starting on, I think, on the road against Milwaukee. I think so. And then the road team, um, the wild card team will start in San Francisco. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the way it works. Um, so yeah, um, commissioner resigns. They postpone games after accusations against former North Carolina Courage coach. Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. I just not the timing so much. Just reading what we read about former players this, former players that. It always raises a red flag for me. No current players said anything. No current players said a word. And if he was doing all this stuff to the former players, right? Would he not have wanted to maybe keep them? I'm just saying, if he's doing all this stuff with them, wouldn't that make him the teacher's pet type deal? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't have an explanation here as to how and why he was doing what he did. But you know, a lot of people do some crazy shit. We just don't know exactly what it is going on. Take the Falcons. Give up the half point today. It's a pick'em game. Take them against Washington. I think it's a sure thing. I really do. They're at home, Matty Ice. Washington's defense has not been on. They have not even shown up for any game yet. Tyler Heineke's going to have to play his ass off in order for him to even stay in the game. He could throw for 350 today. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Could stay close. But I think Atlanta wins the game in the end. I think it could be a high-scoring game, maybe 37-31, 37-30. But I like the Falcons in that game. I really think they do something. Tell us again. My name's Rob. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. God bless. Oh yeah, and I apologize for not being on the last few days due to having our yard sale. Yard sale went well. I've been asked about that a bunch of times. It went really, really well. We saw my sister-in-law off this morning. She's heading back home, and just overall a good weekend. We've had a real good weekend. Tell us again. My name's Rob. Thanks so much, and God bless. Bye bye. Hi, Alan.